Close your eyes just for a moment and feel the world within you, not the world that shouts and demands outside, but the quiet world inside the world that listens, the world that knows. It is there that all things are born. It is there that the seed of desire finds its root, and it is there, in the silence, that you begin to live from the end. To live as if your wish is fulfilled is not to pretend. It is not performance. It is not fantasy. It is creation. It is assuming the position of the one who already is, already has, already knows. You do not wish for what you are. You do not crave what you have. You simply rest in the knowing that it is done. The state of fulfillment is a state of being. Enter it, occupy it, dwell in it. Every desire, every longing is the voice of your higher self whispering of a reality already waiting. You do not chase after it. You do not beg the world to agree. You agree with yourself. You become one with your ideal. You clothe yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fits like skin. And when it fits, the outer must conform. All things are drawn to their image, as within, so without. So you change your inner speech. You change the conversations you have with yourself. You stop asking when and start feeling now. You walk in your home as the one who already received the promotion. You fall asleep as the one already healed. You move through life as the one already chosen, already loved, already elevated. And in time, or rather, outside of time, the shadows take shape and the unseen becomes seen. You must abandon the question of how. Let that belong to the unseen hand. Your task is not to engineer, but to embody. You are not the maker of the seeds unfolding, you are the sower. Plant the seed in imagination, water it with feeling, and refuse to dig it up with doubt. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. Remain loyal. When fear knocks, you answer with inner conviction. When the facts contradict, you do not flinch, because facts are only the echo of past belief. You are planting a new cause. The fruit must come. The harvest must appear. What you accept as true in imagination becomes your world. So, you persist not with effort, but with assumption. You persist by being. You persist by knowing. Sleep tonight as the one who already is. Think from it, feel from it, react from it. The old man must fade away. The new self must rise, and you not someday, but now you are that which you have imagined. The secret is not in striving. The secret is in assuming. You walk through this world believing yourself to be subject to its laws, its circumstances, its limitations. But the world you see is not solid truth. It is reflection, response, reaction. It is the shadow cast by the light of your consciousness. You do not change the mirror by scratching at the glass. You change what is reflected by altering what stands before it. Your world is your mirror, and your assumption is the face it reflects. So you begin within. You begin by stepping into the invisible, not with doubt, not with hope, but with the quiet certainty of one who knows that imagining creates reality, that the world rearranges itself to make room for the man or woman who dares to claim their desire as already true. You do not imagine to escape, you imagine to create. You enter the scene of fulfillment as if by invitation, and you do not knock, you do not ask permission. You walk in and sit down. What does it feel like to have it now? That is the question. That is the doorway. The feeling is the secret, and you must become familiar with that feeling until it is no longer foreign, until it becomes your new home. You must lose the taste for lack. You must grow weary of waiting. You must stop entertaining what is not aligned with what you have chosen. You no longer speak as someone on the outside of their dream. You speak from within the center of it, and yes, the senses will scream. The facts will parade themselves in front of you, shouting that nothing has changed. But the one who knows, the one who walks by faith and not by sight, does not bow to appearances. You must become deaf to the noise of contradiction. You must become blind to the old echoes. The eyes of the inner man are more powerful than the eyes of the outer. It is what you see in the inner world and feel with certainty that must take form in time. Every time you return to the old state, the state of waiting, of longing, of asking, you delay the manifestation, not because it is being withheld, but because you are denying yourself its experience. The universe withholds nothing. It simply delivers what you assume, and assumption is not begging. Assumption is ownership. When you assume you are already the one you desire to be, life must conform. Not because of effort, but because of law. The law is impersonal. It does not respond to need, but to belief. You are not being tested. You are being trained to believe more in the invisible than the visible. Trained to align your inner speech with your inner vision. Trained to drop every doubt, every delay, and stand in the end as if it were the beginning. You are the operant power. What you accept as true becomes the mold into which reality is poured. Do not wait for evidence to believe. Believe, and the evidence will follow. You do not live from circumstance, you live from state. The state you occupy is the soil in which your world grows. If you do not like what you see, you do not curse the garden, you change the seed. You shift the state, you step into the feeling of having, being, knowing. You do not struggle to get there, you relax into it, you breathe into it, you allow the feeling of the wish fulfilled to become your resting place. And what is a state? It is not effort. It is not repetition for repetition's sake. It is not saying the right words to get the right outcome. A state is a feeling, a mood, an inner atmosphere. It is how you carry yourself when no one is watching. It is what you assume when you are still. You could say all the right things aloud and yet live in the state of fear. Or you could say nothing at all and walk in the peace of fulfilled desire. The state is what matters. The state is what creates. Persist, not with force, not with anxiety, but with identity. Keep returning to the state. Keep dwelling there, not as visitor, but as resident. When the thought comes that nothing is happening, you respond not with panic, but with inner assurance. It is already done. When the emotion rises that says it is too far off, you do not indulge it. You remain rooted in the truth that what is felt as true in imagination must externalize. That is the eternal law. You are not waiting on the world. The world is waiting on you, waiting for you to become so saturated with your fulfilled desire that it can do nothing else but yield. Life is plastic to the touch of imagination. It has no choice but to mirror what you dare to embody. So walk differently, speak differently, sit differently, be aware of how you carry yourself, for every gesture, every tone, every thought is a declaration of what you believe to be real. Do not worry about time. Time is not your master. Time bends to the assumption held in imagination. You are not racing the clock. You are collapsing time through belief. The moment you assume it, you enter into the finished state, and in that moment you have left behind the old self. The one who wanted, who waited, who wondered, that version no longer exists. There is only this new self, and it is fulfilled, it is complete, it is unshakable. If doubts arise, and they will, you do not fight them with force. You dissolve them with truth. You remind yourself that you are not hoping, you are knowing. That imagination is not idle, it is causative. You do not need proof. You are the proof. You are the living testimony of the unseen becoming seen. You carry the kingdom within. All that you seek is already yours, not in some future moment, but here now, in the realm of your inner knowing. It is not about being worthy. It is not about being ready. It is about being willing, willing to drop the mask of limitation, willing to stop rehearsing what is not wanted, willing to let go of being a seeker and begin being a finder. The one who finds is the one who assumed they already had. Do not ask for the promise. Accept it, take it, walk in it. Let your life reflect the fullness of your inner conviction. You are the seed of every reality you will ever experience. There is no external power. There is no one else deciding your fate. You are the dreamer and the dream. You are the potter and the clay. Shape your world by shaping your assumption. If you would change your world, you must first change your concept of self. Who are you when your wish is fulfilled? That is the only question worth answering. That is the only place worth living from. Let others doubt, let others question. You do not owe your vision to anyone. You walk silently, invisibly, powerfully. You walk not in arrogance, but in authority. You do not explain, you embody, and embodiment is silent power. Embodiment speaks without words. When you become it inwardly, you become magnetic to the outer reflection. You become the center from which all things move. The world shifts to accommodate the new you, not because it was forced, but because it must. You sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You rise in the atmosphere of it. You make it your new normal. You give thanks not because something might come, but because it already has. Gratitude is the echo of fulfillment. You give thanks because it is finished. And every day you move in that awareness, not as a student, not as a seeker, but as a knower. One who has seen the end and now walks through the unfolding with patience and poise. You do not need to convince the world. You only need to convince yourself. And once you do, the world has no choice. It will bend, it will yield, it will mirror what you have become. For the outer world is nothing more than a delayed announcement of your inner conviction. Keep your gaze inward, keep your attention fixed. Let every assumption be a step into your desired state. Let every thought be filtered through the lens of the wish fulfilled. You are not a beggar, you are not a victim, you are not separate from what you seek. You are one with it, and once you know this, once you feel it with every breath, then there is nothing left to wait for. There is only being, and in that being, in that stillness, in that deep knowing, the whole world must rise to meet you there. Remain here, remain in this stillness. Let the truth of your fulfilled desire saturate your awareness so deeply that you forget the old way of thinking, the old way of seeing. Let the version of you that waited, wished, and wondered fall away like a garment outgrown. You have moved into a new state, the state where the desire is not something distant, but something possessed, experienced, lived. In this state, you no longer ask if you only affirm it is. This is not fantasy. It is not denial of what is. It is the highest form of agreement with the unseen reality that calls to you from within. You do not deny the world, you transcend it. You do not argue with appearances. You outgrow them. You outgrow fear by stepping into confidence. You outgrow lack by abiding in abundance. You outgrow separation by knowing oneness. The outer world adjusts to your new height, the way water adjusts to the shape of its vessel. Change the vessel, and the water takes new form. Speak less about what you want and more about what already is. Not with your lips alone, but with your inner voice, the silent speech that shapes your world. It is not enough to momentarily entertain the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must live in it, breathe in it, eat and drink in it. Let it be your default, your dwelling place. Not something you visit in moments of meditation, but something you carry throughout your day like a secret fire that warms you even when the world around you seems cold. You do not create by fighting the old. You create by assuming the new. The old fades because it is no longer fed. It dissolves from disuse. The moment you stop identifying with it, it loses power over you. The past only persists when you repeat its emotions. When you drop them, you break its cycle. The world around you is elastic. It responds to your inner state, and it bends to your new identification. When you say, I am, the universe listens, and what you attach to that sacred phrase becomes law. Do not seek permission from the world to change. Do not wait for signs to believe. Signs follow, they do not precede. The feeling comes first. The awareness, the assumption, these are the roots. What springs forth in your outer life is simply the fruit. And if the fruit does not match the seed you've sown, you do not curse the tree. You plant again. You plant with more precision. You plant with unwavering faith that the soil of consciousness does not fail to yield what is truly sown. You do not need to visualize with perfect images. You only need to feel with perfect conviction. If you cannot see the entire picture, see the one moment that captures the essence. The handshake of congratulations, the keys in your hand, the ring on your finger, the smile of recognition, one scene that implies all is done. Enter that scene not as an outsider, but as a participant. See from it not toward it. Feel the tones, the textures, the weight of fulfillment. Imagination, when fused with emotion, becomes creation. You do not need to try, you need to trust. Trust not in effort, but in alignment. Trust not in the logic of the world, but in the law of assumption. You become what you assume yourself to be, not what you hope, not what you admire, but what you claim. This claiming is not arrogance. It is authority. It is spiritual ownership. It is divine agreement. You are not asking for something to be done. You are stepping into the state where it already is. You are not made small by this process, you are made whole. You are not escaping reality, you are shaping it from a higher level. You are not manipulating the world, you are aligning with truth. The truth is that all creation is finished, that all possibilities exist, that you are the chooser, the selector, the one who navigates the infinite with the compass of feeling. And when your feeling becomes fixed, so too does your reality. Let each day begin with remembrance. Before you move, remember who you are. Remember what you've chosen. Remember the state you now dwell in. Let your first breath of the morning be one of alignment. As you rise from your bed, rise also in consciousness. Carry the feeling of fulfillment as a sacred charge. Let it color your words, your movements, your interactions. Not because you are performing, but because you have truly become. The one who has not the one who hopes. The world does not need convincing. It needs your conviction. It does not need your struggle. It needs your stillness. Stillness is power. In stillness, you commune with the unseen, and what you commune with becomes flesh. You must become so saturated with your inner reality that the outer becomes irrelevant, not because you don't care, but because you know it will match. You know it must. You know the world cannot help but echo the tone of your dominant inner assumption. When the outer world delays, you do not panic. You deepen your assumption. You rest in it even more fully. You let time do what it will, for time is your servant now. You live in the end, and all else must rearrange. Doors must open, people must appear, circumstances must shift, not because you demanded it, but because you assumed it, and assumption is causation. The cause of every change is a change in self-concept. You are not becoming something new. You are awakening to what has always been yours. You may be tempted to check, to look for proof, to search for signs, but you must resist that urge. You do not check on a seed once planted. You trust the process, you protect the feeling, you keep your inner atmosphere clear and faithful, and as you persist, the law works silently, faithfully, unerringly. Suddenly, what you once imagined becomes memory. What you once believed in silence becomes shouted aloud in praise. What you once held in the secret of your heart becomes the testimony of your life. You are the temple of the living God, and the living God is imagination. He waits only for your agreement, your embrace of the finished work. Your world will not move until you move inwardly. Your world will not change until you change what you accept as true. Accept more. Expect more, not from a place of greed, but from the awareness that you are not limited. Your potential is as vast as your willingness to believe. The limit is never the world, the limit it is always the assumption. You need not explain yourself. You need not defend the new identity you've chosen. Others may not see it yet. That's all right. They are still looking at the version of you shaped by your past assumptions. But you have moved, you have stepped into a new frame, and soon they will see the evidence. They will not understand how, but they will see it. They will witness the unfolding of a life transformed not by effort, but by embodiment. You will walk among the same people in the same world, but with a different spirit, and the difference will be undeniable. Every time doubt whispers, return to the feeling. Every time delay frustrates, return to the end. Every time fear arises, remind yourself, it is done, not someday, now, and in that now. You are free, free from the past, free from the waiting, free from the need to justify your joy. You are free because you chose to be. You are free because you dared to assume. Let every act become sacred by the spirit in which you do it. Let your walk be confident, your speech be sure, your gaze be fixed, not because of what you see, but because of what you know. You know the end and you live from it, and as you continue, the world you once wished for becomes the world you now inhabit. You wake up one morning and realize you are it. You are the one you imagine. The wish and the wisher are one. The assumption has become flesh. The inner has birthed the outer. The dream has awakened into life. You are the creator of your world. You are not a mere participant. You are the artist, the sculptor, the architect. The moment you understand this, everything begins to shift. You stop waiting for things to happen to you and start creating the conditions for them to unfold as you have already imagined. The key is not to fight with the circumstances, not to wrestle with the outer world, but to change what you believe about yourself, what you feel about yourself, and how you identify with your deepest desires. It is so easy to get caught up in the drama of the world in the news, in the opinions of others, in the flood of distractions that seem to come from every angle. But the one who knows that the wish is already fulfilled stands above it all. They understand that none of this noise has any power over them unless they give it power. The power lies in the inner world. The inner world is where everything begins. And when you truly understand this, you do not react to the outer world, you create from within. Everything you see in the physical world, everything you experience, is a reflection of your inner state. The outer world does not dictate what you will experience. You do. And when you change the way you think, feel, and believe, the outer world has no choice but to align itself with that change. You do not have to change the circumstances to get what you want. You only need to change your assumption about those circumstances, your inner feeling about the situation, and the outer world must reflect that change. It is not about fighting against the world you see, but rather about assuming the world you desire. Imagine it, feel it, assume that it is already yours. Do not wait for external validation, and do not look for confirmation from the physical world. It will come, but it will come from your assumption, not from effort, not from manipulation, not from struggle. It will come because you have already decided it is done. What you believe to be true is true for you, and what you believe is true shapes your life. The moment you change your belief, everything around you begins to change. This is the secret of the law of assumption. You change your inner world, and the outer world must conform to it. It must. This is the immutable law of the universe. The world is malleable, responsive to the one who knows how to use the power of imagination. You do not need to beg for your desires to manifest. You need only to assume that they already have, imagine them, feel them, enter into the consciousness of already having, already being, already doing. When you do this, you enter into the state of the wish fulfilled. And when you live in that state, you become it. When you become it, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match the assumption of that state. The power is not in the doing, the power is in the being. You are not working towards something, you are being it now. You are not trying to create a new reality, you are simply aligning yourself with the reality that already exists in your imagination. And the moment you align, the world shifts. The moment you accept, the manifestation begins. This is not a matter of positive thinking, although positive thinking can be helpful. It is a matter of assuming the state of being that you desire to be. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not just a thought. It is a living, breathing energy that you carry within you. And when you embody this feeling, when you walk in it, when you speak from it, when you make decisions from it, the world must conform to the energy you are radiating. The most powerful thing you can do is to occupy the state of your wish fulfilled. And the most powerful thing you can give yourself is the feeling that it is already yours. This is the secret. The more you feel that it is already done, the more the world will reflect that certainty back to you. The more you live from the place of already having, the more the external world will line up to make that assumption true. Stop looking for signs. Stop looking for evidence. Evidence will follow the assumption. The outer world will reflect the inner world. When you begin to live from the end, from the knowing that what you desire is already yours, the outer world must shift to match that vibration. There is no question about it. There is no negotiation. The law of assumption works every time. Your desires are not arbitrary. They are a reflection of the potential already present within you. The desire you hold is a seed planted by your higher self, a calling to step into your fullest expression. And when you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you step into that expression. You become the person who already has it, and in doing so, the world must match you. The world must reflect that assumption. This is the law, and it is an eternal truth. When you walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled, the world begins to respond to you as though you are already the person you wish to be. The doors open. The opportunities come, the people align, the money flows, the healing happens. Everything begins to line up. Not because you worked harder, not because you tried to force the world into place, but because you assumed it was already done. You assumed it with certainty, and because you assumed it, the world had no choice but to bring it into being. There is nothing you need to do other than assume. The universe works on your behalf when you assume the state of having. The key is to embody the feeling of already having it, already being it, already doing it. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. It becomes your state of being, and once it becomes your state of being, the world must reflect that state. It is not a question of if it will happen, but a question of when. And the moment you assume it is already done, it begins to unfold. This is not a waiting game. This is not about hoping for something to happen in the future. This is about living as if it is already yours. The moment you live as if it is already yours, the moment you believe it, the moment you embody it, the world begins to reflect that reality. It cannot do anything else. The world has no choice but to conform to your assumption. The outer world is not fixed. It is fluid. It is responsive. It responds to your inner state, your inner feeling, your inner belief. So, do not wait. Do not delay. Assume that it is already done. Assume that you are already the person you desire to be. Assume that everything you want is already yours. When you do this, you enter into the flow of life. You enter into the state of fulfillment, and from that state, everything unfolds. You will not have to force anything. You will not have to make things happen. They will simply happen because you have already assumed that they will. When you assume that it is already done, the world shifts to make it so. And in doing so, you become the person who has what you desire. You become the person who is living the life you've always dreamed of, the life you have imagined, the life you have felt deep inside you. It is already yours. It is already done. And once you accept that, once you believe that with every fiber of your being, everything in your world will begin to reflect that truth. You will see it, you will experience it, you will live it, and the world will know that you are the one who assumed it into being. When you truly understand this, a quiet power begins to rise within you. You stop being a passive observer of life and become an active creator, a deliberate architect of your own experience. You cease to be at the mercy of circumstances, for you now know that circumstances are not the cause of your reality, they are the effect of your beliefs. When you change your beliefs, the circumstances must change. It's a simple, unbreakable law, and it always works. But only when you assume the state of having, not when you wait for it to appear. In the moment you claim your desire as already fulfilled, you become untouchable by the forces of doubt or limitation. Fear loses its grip on you because you have aligned yourself with a higher truth. The truth that everything you need is already within you. The truth that you already possess everything that has been placed in your heart. It has always been yours. You need only to claim it with unwavering certainty. The more you live in the state of fulfillment, the more you will see this reflected back to you in your outer world. People will begin to treat you as though you are the person you have assumed yourself to be. Opportunities will open up, paths will appear. The things that once seemed impossible will begin to flow into your life with ease. It will no longer feel like a struggle, for you have ceased to struggle. You have embraced the truth that the universe is already moving in your favor. All you must do is stay aligned with it, remain in the state of having, and trust that it is done. At first, you may notice subtle shifts. Maybe a small opportunity presents itself, or a conversation leads to a new connection. These are the first signs, the beginning of the manifestation, but do not mistake the small for insignificant. Even the smallest sign is proof that the law is working. The universe responds to your assumption, and it begins to take shape in the most unexpected ways. There is no limit to how it will come. The key is to remain in the assumption, to continue to live as if your wish is already fulfilled. This is not about effort. It is about alignment. Effort implies struggle. Alignment implies ease. And when you are aligned with the state of the wish fulfilled, you no longer push against the current of life. You flow with it. You become one with the flow. You stop working hard and start allowing, receiving, and living in the truth of what is already yours. This is the essence of grace, the effortless knowing that all things are coming to you in perfect time and perfect order. One of the most powerful practices you can adopt is to become the living embodiment of your desire. Walk through your day as though you are already that person. Speak as though you already have what you want. Move with the confidence and assurance of one who is certain of the end result. You must be this person now, in every thought, in every word, in every action. The more you live as the person you've assumed yourself to be, the more the outer world will reflect that assumption. Do not let the outer world dictate how you feel. Do not allow the evidence of lack or delay to sway you from your knowing. The world will test you. It will show you the opposite of what you have assumed. But this is not a challenge to your belief. It is merely a momentary reflection of the old self, the old assumptions, the old beliefs. The key is to persist, to keep assuming, to keep feeling that your wish is already fulfilled. You must stand firm in your conviction, even when the outer world seems to say otherwise. The moment you give in to doubt, the moment you let the outer world convince you that your wish is not yet fulfilled, you begin to weaken your assumption. But the moment you persist, the moment you continue to live in the end, you strengthen the force of your desire. It is the persistence of belief, the consistency of your assumption, that brings about the physical manifestation. And when you stand firm, the outer world has no choice but to align with your inner state. But do not make the mistake of thinking that persistence means effort. Persistence in this context is not about trying harder or working more. It is about remaining true to the assumption. It is about not allowing any distraction or appearance to shake your belief in the wish fulfilled. You must become unwavering in your assumption, as though it is already a fact. The world will catch up to you, but you must hold the line. And as you do, you will notice that the world begins to shift. The people in your life begin to respond differently, and opportunities unfold in ways that were previously unimaginable. This is the nature of the law. It is subtle, but it is unyielding. It works even when you are unaware of it. It operates in the background, rearranging the elements of your life to bring your assumption into form. Your task is simply to maintain the state of the wish fulfilled. Live in it, feel it, and the world will move to bring it to you. Over time, you will begin to see how deeply your life reflects your inner beliefs. It is a natural law that cannot be escaped. You cannot remain in a state of lack and expect abundance. You cannot live in a state of doubt and expect certainty. What you assume in your mind, what you believe in your heart, must become your reality. And when you truly understand this, your life will change in ways that seem miraculous. The process is simple. The key is to embody the state of already having. Assume it is done. Speak as though it is done. Feel as though it is done. Walk in that knowing with confidence and assurance. This is the secret to manifestation. The more you live in the end, the more the end must unfold. There is no mystery to it. There is no magic. There is only the law of assumption, and it works every time. In the beginning, you may find that the outer world does not immediately reflect your assumption. This is where many people give up. They begin to doubt the process because they cannot yet see the manifestation in the physical world. But this is the moment of greatest opportunity. This is the moment when your faith is being tested. This is the moment when you must persist. You must continue to live in the end, even when it feels like the world is showing you the opposite. You must remain faithful to the assumption that your wish is already fulfilled, and in time, the outer world will catch up. Trust the process. Trust that it is already done. Trust that your desires are already on their way to you, and that they will come in perfect form and perfect timing. The world is always responding to your inner state. When you change your state, the world must respond. It cannot do anything else. This is the law, and it works every time. As you persist, you will notice that the world around you begins to shift. What once seemed impossible will become possible. The opportunities you once thought were out of reach will now seem to come to you effortlessly. The people who once ignored you will begin to notice you. The doors that once seemed closed will swing wide open. This is the power of your assumption, the power of living in the end, the power of assuming that your wish is already fulfilled. The more you live from the end, the more the world will reflect that assumption back to you. And in time, the physical manifestation will arrive. It may come in ways you did not expect, but it will come. It always does. The law of assumption is as reliable as the rising of the sun. It never fails. And when you understand that the world is merely responding to the inner reality you have created, you will understand that you are the creator of your life. You are the artist of your reality. You are the one who decides what your world will be. And when you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, the world has no choice but to align with that assumption. It is done. The moment you assume it is done, and everything in your life will begin to reflect that truth. You are the creator. You are the one who shapes your world. And the law of assumption will always bring your desires into form. As you continue to live from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, you begin to realize that there is nothing outside of you that can dictate your experience. The outer world is merely a reflection of what you believe, and when you change your beliefs, the reflection must change as well. This is the secret to living a life of true freedom and power. You do not need to seek approval from others, nor do you need to wait for permission from the world. You are the one who holds the key. You are the one who decides what your experience will be. And once you realize that, once you embody that truth with every fiber of your being, the world has no choice but to respond to you. This is where the power truly lies, in the assumption. When you assume the state of having, when you feel it deeply within you, when you step into the energy of already possessing what you desire, the outer world must align. This is not a matter of time or effort. It is a matter of vibration. You are not waiting for the world to change. You are aligning with the vibration of what you already want. And when you align with that vibration, everything must fall into place. It's important to note that this process is not about forcing the world to conform to your desires. It is about aligning yourself with the reality you want to experience. The moment you stop trying to change the world and instead focus on changing your internal state, you free yourself from struggle. You step into a flow that brings everything to you effortlessly. You stop needing to control the how, and instead, you trust that the universe will bring the right people, the right circumstances, and the right opportunities to you in perfect timing. The secret lies in your assumption, not in the circumstances, not in the physical evidence. It's easy to look at what's around you and judge the validity of your assumption based on what you see. But the reality is, the physical world is always lagging behind the inner world. It's a reflection, not the cause. So, if you look to the world for confirmation before you make the assumption, you're reversing the process. The assumption must come first. It's the starting point. It's the belief that your wish is already fulfilled, and from there, the outer world must shift. In this space of assumption, there is no room for doubt, no room for questioning. Doubt is the only thing that can keep you from seeing your desires come to fruition. When you live in doubt, you are living in a state of lack. And when you live in a state of lack, that's what the world reflects back to you. But when you choose to live in the fullness of your assumption, when you refuse to allow doubt to have any place in your mind, the world must reflect the fullness of that assumption. It's also vital to understand that this process is not about constant thinking or forcing thoughts. It's about the feeling state. When you embody the feeling of having, when you feel what it's like to already be the person who has what you desire, you enter into a higher vibration. This feeling is the creative force that shapes your reality. It is not about thinking about what you want constantly. It's about feeling the deep knowing that it is already yours now. This feeling state is more powerful than any effort you could ever make. The more you can embody the feeling of already having, the more the universe moves to bring your desires to fruition. And because this law is so reliable, the world will always conform to that inner reality. It cannot do anything else. This is the immutable law of the universe. Your inner assumption is the seed, and the outer world is the garden that must bring it to life. There will be moments of challenge, moments when the external world does not seem to reflect your assumption. But these are not moments to give up. These are simply opportunities to deepen your trust in the process. These are the moments when your faith is tested, and the key is to persist. You must persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, no matter what the world around you may be showing. The world is not the judge of your assumption, your belief is. When you continue to live as though your wish is already fulfilled, when you continue to feel the deep satisfaction and joy of already having it, the world must eventually catch up to you. It may take time for things to shift, but rest assured, shift they will. The law works, the universe does not fail, and when you persist in living from the end, when you hold to the assumption with certainty, the world will have no choice but to bring your desires into form. The beauty of this process is that you are not trying to manipulate the outer world. You are simply shifting your inner world, your perception, your belief. And when you shift that, everything around you must change. It's a natural law. The world will reflect your inner state, and this is the power you hold. It's not about control, it's about alignment. You align yourself with the state of your wish fulfilled, and the world must bring that state into physical reality. What you must understand is that everything you need is already within you. Your desires are not external to you. They are already a part of who you are, a part of your essence. The moment you recognize that your desire is already yours, you free yourself from the need to chase it. You no longer need to work hard or strive to attain it. You simply need to embody the truth that it is already yours. And once you do that, the world has no choice but to bring it into being. This process does not require struggle or hardship. It requires faith. It requires the ability to trust that the universe will always respond to your assumption. When you step into the feeling of already having, you allow the universe to work on your behalf. You stop working against the flow of life, and instead you move with it. You step into the current of your desires, knowing that everything you want is already coming to you, and that all you need to do is align with it. It's also essential to remember that your desire is valid. It is not something that you need to earn or deserve. The law of assumption does not discriminate. It does not decide that one person is more worthy of their desires than another. Your desire is already yours because you have assumed it. The moment you make the assumption, it is done, and the universe works to bring your assumption into form. This is a game of belief and feeling. When you believe that your wish is already fulfilled, when you feel it as though it is already yours, the world has no choice but to reflect that belief. This is the magic of the law of assumption. You change your inner state, and the outer world must change to match it. The world is a mirror. It reflects who you are being on the inside, and the more you live in the state of the wish fulfilled, the more the outer world will reflect that. It is not a matter of waiting for the world to change. It is a matter of you changing your perception, your assumption, your state of being. And when you do that, the world must follow. When you live in the assumption that your wish is already fulfilled, you step into a state of power, a state of creative flow. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are no longer at the mercy of time or circumstances. You are living from the end, from the knowing that it is already done. And as you do this, the world will change to reflect that truth. This is the beauty of the law of assumption. It is always working in your favor. It is a universal law that does not discriminate. It responds to your inner state, and when you live in the assumption that your wish is already fulfilled, the world must align with that assumption. It must. There is no other possibility. You are the creator of your experience, and when you assume your desire is already fulfilled, the world will reflect that truth in every way. As you walk through life, remember this. Your reality is not determined by the world around you, but by the beliefs you hold within you. The power to shape your experience lies not in the external, but in the internal, in your assumptions, your feelings, and your unwavering belief that what you desire is already fulfilled. The universe is always responding to your inner state, and when you assume the end result is already yours, the world must reflect that truth. Do not wait for the world to change before you live in the state of fulfillment. Live as if your wish is already realized, and watch as the world aligns itself to match your assumption. Your desires are not out of reach, they are already within you. All you need to do is claim them, live them, and believe in them with every part of your being. The law of assumption is simple, yet profound, and it is always working in your favor. Trust in the process. Trust in your power, and remember, when you assume the wish is fulfilled, it is already done. Live from that knowing, persist in your assumption, and watch as your reality transforms before your eyes. You are the creator of your world, and the moment you live in the end, the world will bring your desires to life. The universe is always working for you, and it will bring your wish fulfilled when you stand firm in the belief that it is already yours.
Imagination is not just a whimsical escape from reality, it is, in fact, the blueprint that constructs the world we live in. Every invention, every piece of art, and every transformation begins as a spark in the human mind, a vision formed through imagination. Your life, too, is the product of what you imagine. The circumstances you face, the achievements you experience, and even the struggles you encounter are born from the beliefs and images you hold within your mind. The reality you inhabit today was first shaped in the quiet recesses of your imagination. It is the foundation upon which your experiences rest, and by harnessing it with intention and clarity, you hold the power to change not only your present but also your future. The world as you know it begins in your mind. What you imagine, you create. Imagination is more than just a passing thought or a mental escape. It is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. Everything you experience, everything you see around you, first began as an image in your mind. Whether you realize it or not, your imagination is constantly shaping the world you inhabit. It operates as a blueprint, creating the conditions and circumstances that reflect what you think and believe most deeply. This is why understanding the power of imagination is so crucial. It is the gateway to transforming your reality. When you look around at the world, you might think that it is fixed, that circumstances are beyond your control. But this belief is an illusion. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror of your inner world, specifically the images you continuously entertain in your mind. These images, fueled by emotion, gradually take form and manifest as tangible experiences in your life. If you want to change your outer reality, you must first change the images you hold within. Imagination is limitless. It transcends the boundaries of logic, time, and space. In the realm of imagination, you are not constrained by what is considered possible or realistic. Instead, you are free to create, to envision anything and everything. This is why imagination is the blueprint for reality. It gives you the ability to shape your life in ways that defy ordinary expectations. The key, however, is not just to imagine idly, but to direct your imagination consciously toward the life you wish to live. The greatest discoveries and achievements in history were not brought into being by those who accepted reality as it was. Rather, they were made by individuals who imagined something different, something greater, and believed it was possible. They understood that imagination, when combined with belief, creates a force powerful enough to shape reality. What you imagine with conviction is what you bring into existence. But imagination by itself is not enough. You must cultivate the feelings and emotions associated with the reality you desire. This is where the concept of living in the end comes into play. To truly harness the power of your imagination, you must not only visualize your desired outcome, but also feel as though it has already come to pass. This feeling of the wish fulfilled is what bridges the gap between imagination and reality. It aligns your inner state with your external experience, bringing about the changes you seek. Many people believe that hard work, effort, and determination are the only paths to success. While these qualities are certainly valuable, they are not the most important factors in creating your reality. Imagination is far more powerful than sheer willpower because it bypasses the limitations of the physical world. When you rely solely on willpower, you are often met with resistance both from within and from the world around you. But when you use your imagination, you access a higher level of creativity and inspiration that allows you to overcome obstacles without struggle. Imagination opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. It creates opportunities where none seem to exist. It allows you to envision possibilities beyond what is currently visible or tangible. Through imagination, you can create new pathways, attract people and resources, and bring your deepest desires to life. You are not limited by your present circumstances because imagination operates in the realm of infinite potential. Doubt and fear are the greatest enemies of imagination. When you allow negative thoughts to cloud your mind, they weaken the images you hold within, making it more difficult for your desires to manifest. Doubt tells you that your vision is too far-fetched, that you are asking for too much, that it is impossible. But doubt is merely a product of your past experiences, which have no bearing on your future unless you allow them to. Imagination is always stronger than doubt, because it taps into the infinite possibilities of creation. When doubt arises, it is essential to shift your focus back to the vision of your desired outcome. The more you can immerse yourself in the feeling of having already achieved what you want, the more quickly you will see it reflected in your outer reality. One of the most effective ways to maintain a strong connection to your vision is through daily imaginative practice. Just as you would exercise your body to stay in shape, your imagination must be exercised to remain sharp and effective. Each day, take time to visualize your desired reality in vivid detail. Feel the emotions associated with that reality. Experience the joy, the satisfaction, and the fulfillment of having already achieved your goals. The more consistently you practice this, the more naturally it will come to you, and the more quickly your outer world will begin to shift. Imagination is not bound by time. What you visualize today may not materialize instantly, but rest assured it is already in the process of becoming. The seeds you plant in your imagination will grow, sometimes in ways you cannot yet foresee. Trust the process. Trust that what you desire is already on its way to you. When you live from the end, when you consistently imagine yourself as the person you wish to be, your reality will begin to mold itself to match that vision. Patience and persistence are essential in this process. Too often people give up on their vision because they do not see immediate results. But remember, your outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner state. It takes time for your imagination to fully manifest in the physical realm. The key is to remain steadfast, to continue nurturing your vision with faith and certainty, even when it seems as though nothing is happening. you will see the evidence of your imagination come to life. You will notice that the people, circumstances, and opportunities you once envisioned are now part of your everyday reality. It may seem like coincidence or luck, but in truth, it is the result of your deliberate use of imagination. You have always had the power to shape your reality from within, and now by understanding and practicing this truth, you can create a life that reflects your highest desires. Conscious creation is the art of deliberately and intentionally shaping your reality through the power of your thoughts, beliefs, and imagination. Unlike passive existence, where life happens by default, conscious creation puts you in the driver's seat of your own experience. It allows you to direct the energy of your mind to bring forth the reality you desire. The essence of conscious creation is the realization that you are the creator of your life, that your inner world manifests into the outer world, and that by choosing your thoughts with intention, you can transform your entire existence. At the heart of conscious creation is the understanding that everything in your life is a reflection of your inner state. Whether you realize it or not, the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you feel are constantly shaping the circumstances and events you experience. Most people go through life unconsciously, reacting to whatever comes their way without understanding the power they hold within. They believe that life happens to them and they are powerless to change it. But conscious creation turns that idea upside down. It empowers you to realize that life is not something that happens to you, it's something you create from within. The first step in conscious creation is becoming aware of your thoughts and beliefs. Many of the thoughts that run through your mind on a daily basis are automatic and habitual, shaped by past experiences, cultural conditioning, and limiting beliefs. These unconscious thoughts often create a reality that is not aligned with your true desires. If you want to create the life you truly want, you must first become aware of the thoughts that are shaping your current reality. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about the world? What do I believe is possible for me? These beliefs are the foundation of your current reality, and they must be examined and transformed if you want to create something different. Once you become aware of your thoughts and beliefs, the next step is to consciously choose new ones that are in alignment with the reality you wish to create. This is where the power of imagination comes into play. Imagination allows you to see beyond your current circumstances and envision a new reality. It gives you the freedom to dream, to explore possibilities, and to create a mental picture of the life you desire. But imagination alone is not enough. You must also believe that what you imagine is possible for you. This requires a shift in mindset from doubt and limitation to faith and possibility. Faith is a crucial component of conscious creation. You must have faith in your ability to create the life you desire. This faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking, but a deep inner knowing that you are a powerful creator. It is the belief that the universe is always working in your favor, and that whatever you can imagine is already in the process of becoming. Faith allows you to hold on to your vision, even when the physical world does not yet reflect it. It gives you the strength to continue creating consciously, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. Another essential aspect of conscious creation is the emotion you bring to your thoughts. It is not enough to simply think about what you want, you must feel it as though it is already yours. Emotion is the fuel that powers conscious creation. When you feel the emotions of having already achieved your desire, you align your inner state with the reality you wish to create. This emotional alignment is what brings your desires into physical form. The universe responds to your emotional state, not just your thoughts. When you feel joy, gratitude, and excitement about your desires, you are sending out a signal that attracts those experiences into your life. One of the biggest challenges people face in conscious creation is overcoming doubt and resistance. Doubt is a natural part of the process because your current reality may not yet reflect your desires. It can be difficult to believe in something that hasn't manifested yet, especially when the evidence around you seems to contradict your vision. But doubt is simply a product of your past conditioning, and it does not have to control your future. The key to overcoming doubt is to continue focusing on your desired reality, even when it seems far away. Trust that what you are creating is already in the process of becoming, even if you can't see it yet. Resistance often comes in the form of limiting beliefs and negative emotions. These are the internal blocks that prevent your desires from manifesting. For example, if you want to create financial abundance, but you have a deep-seated belief that money is hard to come by, this belief will create resistance and block the flow of abundance into your life. To overcome resistance, you must identify and release the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. This requires self-awareness and a willingness to let go of old patterns of thinking. As you release resistance, you create space for new possibilities to emerge. An important aspect of conscious creation is the idea of surrender. While it is essential to be clear about what you want and to focus on it with intention, it is equally important to surrender the how and when to the universe. Many people get caught up in trying to control every detail of how their desires will manifest. But this only creates tension and resistance. Surrendering means trusting that the universe knows the best way to bring your desires to fruition. It means letting go of the need to control the outcome and allowing the process to unfold naturally. When you surrender, you open yourself up to possibilities that you may not have considered and allow the universe to work its magic. Another key to conscious creation is consistency. Creating a new reality is not a one-time event, it is an ongoing process. You must consistently align your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with the reality you wish to create. This requires daily practice and discipline. Each day, take time to focus on your desires, visualize them as already accomplished, and feel the emotions associated with their fulfillment. The more consistently you practice conscious creation, the more powerful your results will be. Conscious creation is also about taking inspired action. While your thoughts and emotions are powerful, they must be followed by action. But this action should not be forced or driven by fear. It should be inspired by the vision you hold in your mind. Inspired action feels natural and effortless. It is the kind of action that arises from a place of alignment with your desires. When you take inspired action, you are working in harmony with the universe, and things begin to flow more easily. In the process of conscious creation, it is important to stay open to the guidance of the universe. Sometimes the path to your desires may not look the way you expected. The universe has a way of delivering what you need in ways that you may not anticipate. This is why it is essential to stay flexible and open to the signs and synchronicities that show up along the way. Pay attention to the nudges and intuitive insights that come to you. They are often the universe's way of guiding you toward your desires. Imagination is the key to unlocking potential and manifesting desired outcomes. While willpower is often heralded as the driving force behind success, its power is limited compared to the boundless capabilities of imagination. Willpower focuses on sheer determination, discipline, and effort. It's about pushing through obstacles with force and grit. However, imagination transcends the need for brute force by allowing the mind to envision new possibilities, dream bigger, and tap into the vast creative energy within. Imagination creates a mental blueprint for what is desired and bypasses limitations, offering a more sustainable and effective path to success than relying solely on willpower. The reason imagination often surpasses willpower lies in the fundamental way both operate. Willpower, though effective in short bursts, requires constant effort and drains your mental and emotional reserves over time. It's like a muscle, use it too much, and fatigue sets in. This is why so many people struggle to maintain long-term discipline when trying to change their habits or achieve their goals. They burn out, lose motivation, and eventually give up. Imagination, on the other hand, is regenerative. It fuels you with inspiration and excitement, keeps your mind engaged, and makes the process of achieving your goals enjoyable rather than grueling. When you vividly imagine your desired outcome, you bypass the need for relentless discipline and tap into the deeper, more powerful part of your mind, the subconscious. The subconscious mind doesn't respond to willpower in the same way it responds to imagination. While willpower forces action from a conscious level, imagination works directly with the subconscious, which governs 95% of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. When you use your imagination to vividly picture a goal, your subconscious starts to believe that it's already true, setting into motion a series of events and actions that align with that vision. This process is often described as the law of attraction, but it's more than just a passive act of wishing. When your subconscious mind fully believes in a vision, it aligns your actions, decisions, and even your environment in ways that make the vision a reality. In this way, imagination leverages the power of the subconscious mind far more effectively than willpower ever could. One key reason that imagination is so powerful is its ability to create emotional resonance with your desired outcome. Willpower often requires you to force yourself to do things you don't necessarily enjoy. It's the mental push you give yourself to work harder, stick to a diet, or grind through a project. But this creates resistance because on some level you're doing something that feels like a struggle. Imagination, on the other hand, makes the process exciting and enjoyable. By vividly imagining the outcome you desire, you generate feelings of joy, excitement, and anticipation. You start to associate positive emotions with your goal, rather than feelings of strain or resistance. This positive emotional energy is what draws your desires toward you and makes the journey toward your goals feel effortless. Imagination also allows you to move beyond the limitations of logic and reason. Willpower often keeps you tied to what seems realistic or achievable based on your current circumstances. You tell yourself, I can only achieve this if I work hard enough, if I sacrifice enough, if I put in enough hours. While this mindset can yield results, it is inherently limiting because it's bound by the present reality. Imagination frees you from these constraints. It allows you to dream of possibilities beyond your current circumstances, beyond what seems logically feasible. It opens the door to innovation, creativity, and unexpected solutions that willpower alone could never conceive of. Imagination is where breakthroughs happen. It's where new ideas, inventions, and realities are born. When you imagine something, you make it possible, even if it seems impossible based on your current situation. Imagination leads to a state of flow, where the effort becomes seamless and actions become intuitive. Willpower often demands that you grind through challenges, creating friction between your goals and the actions required to achieve them. This approach can lead to stress, fatigue, and a sense of struggle. But when you engage your imagination, you tap into a flow state where your actions feel natural and almost effortless. You get into a rhythm where ideas and solutions come to you more easily. You're no longer fighting against the tide, you're moving with it. This state of flow is where true progress happens without the burnout associated with willpower-driven efforts. Willpower relies heavily on control and force, while imagination works through attraction and inspiration. Willpower tries to control circumstances through sheer determination, often creating resistance both internally and externally. You may encounter obstacles or setbacks, and when driven solely by willpower, you'll try to bulldoze through them. But this approach can leave you drained and frustrated, especially if things don't go as planned. Imagination, on the other hand, attracts circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with your vision. Instead of forcing your way through obstacles, you find that the path opens up more easily because you're operating in a state of alignment. You're no longer fighting against external conditions. Instead, you're working with the universe to bring your vision into reality. Imagination also allows you to tap into a wider spectrum of possibilities. Willpower can be rigid and focused on a singular outcome or goal, often leading to tunnel vision. You become so fixated on a specific path or result that you miss other opportunities that may be even better. Imagination, by contrast, opens up the space for endless possibilities. It allows you to explore different avenues, entertain new ideas, and adjust your goals as needed. It's a more flexible, creative, and adaptive approach to manifesting your desires. When you use your imagination, you stay open to the unexpected and remain adaptable to changing circumstances. This flexibility often leads to better outcomes than you initially envisioned. The role of imagination in shaping your identity is another critical aspect of its power. Willpower focuses on external actions and behaviors, what you do to achieve a goal. But imagination shapes who you are at your core. When you repeatedly visualize yourself achieving a goal, you begin to internalize that image. You start to see yourself as the person who has already accomplished that goal, and you begin to act in ways that align with this new identity. This internal shift is far more powerful than simply forcing yourself to take action through willpower. When you change your self-image through imagination, your actions naturally follow. You no longer have to push yourself to work hard or stay disciplined. It becomes a part of who you are. Imagination also gives you the freedom to explore your desires without the constraints of external judgment or limitations. Willpower often comes with a sense of obligation or pressure, either from yourself or others. You feel the need to achieve a goal because you believe you should or because society expects it. But imagination allows you to explore your true desires without the weight of obligation. It lets you dream freely and connect with what you genuinely want, rather than what you think you should want. This connection to your authentic desires is what makes the process of achieving them so much more fulfilling and meaningful. Living in the end is a powerful concept that reshapes how we approach our desires, goals, and dreams. At its core, it's the idea of embodying the state of having already achieved what we want, long before it has physically manifested in our reality. Instead of waiting for the external world to confirm our success or desires, we mentally, emotionally, and spiritually live as though those desires are already fulfilled. This approach fundamentally changes our perception of life and creates a shift in our energy that aligns with our dreams, accelerating their manifestation. When we live in the end, we bypass the uncertainty, doubt, and fear that often accompany our pursuits. Usually people operate from a mindset of "I will be happy" when they put their happiness and sense of fulfillment on hold, awaiting external conditions to align with their desires. Living in the end disrupts this conditional approach. Instead, it calls on you to feel and act as if you have already attained what you seek. By doing so, you bring the emotional and mental state of fulfillment into the present moment, collapsing the gap between desire and realization. The power of living in the end lies in its ability to align your inner world with your desired outcome. It's not just about pretending or wishful thinking, it's about truly feeling the emotions, adopting the mindset, and embodying the energy of someone who already has what they want. This creates a profound shift in your vibration and consciousness. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions begin to align with your desired reality, making it much more likely that you'll take inspired steps toward that goal. Our beliefs shape our reality, and living in the end rewires those beliefs. When we focus on what we lack or what we don't yet have, we reinforce the reality of lack. If you constantly think, "I don't have enough money, I'm not successful," or "I haven't found love," your subconscious mind absorbs these thoughts and reinforces them as truths in your life. But when you shift to living in the end, you replace those limiting beliefs with new ones. "I am abundant, I am successful, I am loved." These new beliefs signal to your subconscious that your desired outcome is already your truth, and the subconscious begins to act accordingly. Living in the end is not about ignoring reality or denying the present circumstances. Instead, it's about choosing to focus on the internal experience of already having your desire fulfilled, which influences your perception of external circumstances. For example, if you're working toward financial abundance but are currently struggling, living in the end means cultivating the feelings of financial freedom now. It means making decisions as someone who is financially abundant. This shift in mindset transforms the way you handle money, opportunities, and even challenges, ultimately guiding you toward the financial reality you want to create. Another critical aspect of living in the end is the importance of faith. It requires trusting the unseen and believing in the power of your imagination and intention. Often people lose faith when they don't see immediate results or when external conditions seem unchanged. Living in the end requires persistence, even when the physical evidence hasn't yet caught up with the inner vision. The physical world is simply a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. It may take time for your new mental state to manifest outwardly, but by consistently living in the end, you hold fast to your desired reality and trust that it will materialize in due time. The process of living in the end also helps eliminate the resistance that often blocks the manifestation of our desires. Resistance comes in many forms: doubt, fear, impatience, and attachment to specific outcomes. When you're attached to how or when something will manifest, you create tension and anxiety. But living in the end releases that attachment, because you're already living as though your desire has been fulfilled. There's no need to worry about how it will come to pass, because in your mind it already has. This relaxed state of certainty removes the resistance and allows the universe to flow more freely, delivering the desired outcome in the best possible way. Living in the end also shifts the focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. Often people chase goals because they seek validation from others or society. They want to prove themselves or gain recognition for their achievements. But living in the end shifts the emphasis from external approval to internal satisfaction. When you already feel successful, loved, or abundant within yourself, there's no need for outside validation. This inner fulfillment radiates outward, attracting the external success that matches your inner state of being. It's a powerful way to break free from the cycle of seeking approval and instead create a life that is truly aligned with your deepest desires. In essence, living in the end is about becoming the version of yourself who has already achieved what you want. It's about embodying that future self, now thinking like them, feeling like them, and acting like them. This creates a vibrational match with the reality you want to create, drawing it into your experience. By living in the end, you transform your relationship with time, desire, and action. You're no longer waiting for external circumstances to change, you're creating those changes from within. It's also important to remember that living in the end requires patience and persistence. You may not see immediate changes in your external world, and that's okay. The key is to maintain your internal state of fulfillment and trust the process. Doubt may creep in at times and challenges may arise, but by continually returning to the feeling of already having what you want, you strengthen your alignment with that reality. This concept can be applied to any area of life, whether it's love, career, health, or personal growth. If you desire a loving relationship, live as though you're already in that relationship. Cultivate feelings of love, appreciation, and connection within yourself. If you desire career success, live as though you've already achieved it. Think, feel, and act like the successful version of yourself. In doing so, you bring the energy of your desired outcome into the present moment, and the universe responds accordingly. Living in the end is about trusting the power of your imagination and belief. It's about realizing that your internal state creates your external reality. By embodying the emotions, thoughts, and mindset of someone who already has what they desire, you draw that reality to you. It's not a passive act of wishing, but an active process of becoming the person you need to be to attract the life you want. Overcoming doubt is one of the most crucial steps in manifesting your desires and living in alignment with your goals. Doubt acts as a barrier between your current reality and the future you wish to create. It whispers thoughts of uncertainty, telling you that what you desire may not be possible, that you are not worthy, or that the steps you are taking won't lead to the outcome you seek. In order to manifest the life you want, overcoming doubt is essential, because doubt not only weakens your belief in yourself, but also signals to the universe that you don't truly believe in your desires. Doubt often stems from past experiences, failures, or disappointments. When something didn't work out the way you had hoped, it can plant a seed of uncertainty in your mind. This seed can grow into a full-blown belief system where you expect things not to go your way. The key to overcoming doubt is recognizing that your past does not define your future. Every moment is a new opportunity to create a different outcome, and holding on to past failures only perpetuates a cycle of self-doubt. One of the most effective ways to overcome doubt is through self-awareness. You need to become conscious of the moments when doubt creeps into your thoughts. Pay attention to the inner dialogue that questions your abilities or dismisses your dreams as unrealistic. These thoughts often occur subconsciously, and they can influence your actions and emotions without you even realizing it. By becoming aware of these thoughts, you can start to challenge them. To challenge doubt, you must replace it with thoughts of certainty, trust, and faith in your vision. This doesn't mean you should deny the presence of doubt altogether, acknowledging it as part of the process, but rather, you must choose not to entertain it. Instead, replace doubtful thoughts with empowering ones. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "What if this doesn't work out?" replace it with, "I trust that everything is unfolding for my highest good." This shift in mindset helps you redirect your focus from fear to faith. Another important aspect of overcoming doubt is building a strong belief in yourself and your ability to manifest your desires. Doubt often arises from a lack of confidence or a sense of unworthiness. You may doubt your ability to create the life you want, because deep down, you don't feel deserving of it. Overcoming this form of doubt requires inner work to build self-worth and a belief that you are worthy of your desires. This can be achieved through affirmations, self-love practices, and surrounding yourself with positive influences that reinforce your sense of worthiness. Visualization is another powerful tool in overcoming doubt. When you visualize your desired outcome, you immerse yourself in the feeling of already having achieved it. This creates a sense of certainty within you because your mind begins to accept the imagined outcome as a real possibility. Visualization helps you bypass doubt by allowing you to experience the emotions of success, fulfillment, and happiness in the present moment. The more you practice visualizing your desired reality, the less room doubt has to take hold. Living in the present moment also helps in overcoming doubt. Often doubt arises when we project our fears into the future, worrying about things that haven't happened yet. We start imagining all the ways things could go wrong, and this feeds our doubt. By grounding yourself in the present moment and focusing on what you can do right now, you reduce the power of these future-based fears. You can't control everything that happens in the future, but you can control your thoughts, emotions, and actions in the present moment. When you focus on the now, doubt loses its grip because it thrives on future uncertainties. Another strategy for overcoming doubt is to take small, consistent actions toward your goals. Doubt often paralyzes people into inaction because the gap between where they are and where they want to be seems too vast. But by breaking your goals down into smaller, manageable steps, you can build confidence with each action. Every small win adds to your belief in your ability to achieve your larger goals, and this gradually diminishes doubt. The more you see progress, the less room doubt has to exist. Surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded people is also essential for overcoming doubt. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your beliefs and attitudes. If you spend time with people who constantly doubt their own abilities or criticize your dreams, it becomes much harder to overcome your own doubt. Conversely, when you're surrounded by individuals who believe in themselves and support your vision, their energy lifts you up and reinforces your belief in your abilities. Seek out a supportive community or mentors who have already achieved what you aspire to and can offer guidance and encouragement. It's important to recognize that doubt is a natural part of the human experience, especially when you're aiming to achieve something significant. Everyone experiences doubt at some point, and it's okay to feel uncertain or fearful. The difference lies in how you respond to that doubt. Successful people don't let doubt control their actions or derail their progress. Instead, they acknowledge it, understand it, and move forward despite it. Overcoming doubt doesn't mean it will never appear again, but it does mean that you won't allow it to dictate your actions. In moments when doubt feels overwhelming, remind yourself of past achievements. Reflect on times when you overcame challenges or succeeded despite initial uncertainty. This serves as a powerful reminder that you are capable of more than you may realize. Every time you face doubt and move forward anyway, you strengthen your resilience and your ability to navigate future uncertainties. Another critical component in overcoming doubt is trusting the process. Manifestation and personal growth often take time, and it's easy to doubt when results aren't immediate. However, the universe operates in its own time, and the seeds you plant today may take time to bear fruit. When you trust that everything is unfolding as it should, you free yourself from the need for immediate validation. Trust that the actions you take, combined with your inner work, are moving you toward your desired outcome, even if you can't see the results yet. Overcoming doubt also involves letting go of the need for control. Often we doubt because we want to know exactly how and when things will happen. We crave certainty, And when we don't have it, doubt creeps in. Letting go of the need for control allows you to trust in the flow of life. You may not have all the answers, and that's okay. What matters is that you maintain your belief in your vision and stay committed to your path, even when the path is unclear. Sustained imagination is the practice of consistently holding a clear and vivid mental picture of your desires until they manifest into reality. It is the continuous, deliberate use of your imagination to shape your circumstances, experiences, and future. While many people may experience fleeting moments of imagination or daydreams, sustained imagination goes beyond this. It is the persistent focus on a desired outcome, accompanied by the emotions and sensations of having already achieved it, until that vision is realized in the physical world. Imagination is a powerful tool, but its true potential is often untapped because most people don't hold on to their visions long enough for them to manifest. Sustained imagination requires mental discipline, a high level of focus, and the belief that what you imagine can indeed become your reality. It's not just about daydreaming or wishful thinking, it's about consistently dwelling in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, despite any external circumstances that may seem contradictory. This practice bridges the gap between the unseen, imagined world and the physical, experienced world. To understand the power of sustained imagination, it is important to first realize that the mind is the origin of all creation. Every innovation, discovery, or achievement in human history began as a thought, an idea that someone imagined and held on to until it became reality. Whether it's a work of art, a technological advancement, or a personal achievement, imagination precedes creation. Sustained imagination works in the same way. The longer and more vividly you can hold on to your vision, the more likely it is to come into being. The key to sustained imagination is not just visualizing your desired outcome once or twice, but consistently revisiting and reinforcing that mental picture. This involves regularly immersing yourself in the scene of your wish fulfilled, feeling the emotions of success, joy, or fulfillment as if your desire is already present. When you practice this regularly, your mind begins to accept the imagined reality as a fact. Over time, your subconscious mind aligns your actions, decisions, and perceptions with this new reality, guiding you toward the physical manifestation of your desire. One of the most important aspects of sustained imagination is emotion. It's not enough to simply picture your desire, you must feel as though it is already yours. Emotions are the fuel that powers the creative process. When you engage your emotions during your imaginative exercises, you strengthen the connection between your inner vision and the external world. The more vividly you can imagine and feel the experience of your desire fulfilled, the more powerful your sustained imagination becomes. This is because the subconscious mind responds more to emotions than to logic or reasoning. By feeling your desired outcome as though it is already true, you imprint that belief into your subconscious, which in turn influences your actions and circumstances to align with your vision. Maintaining sustained imagination can be challenging because of the distractions and doubts that inevitably arise. Life's external circumstances often conflict with our inner visions, causing us to lose focus or question the possibility of our desires. To overcome these challenges, you must learn to ignore the evidence of your senses when they don't align with your desired outcome. This is where the discipline of sustained imagination truly comes into play. Even if your current reality contradicts what you are imagining, you must remain steadfast in your vision. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to hold on to your imagination, despite external conditions. Another crucial element of sustained imagination is consistency. This means engaging in the process daily, making it a habitual part of your life. You can set aside specific times for visualization, such as during meditation, before bed, or upon waking. These are times when your mind is naturally more receptive to suggestion, and your imagination can operate more freely, without the interference of everyday distractions. By committing to a regular practice of sustained imagination, you reinforce your desires and keep them active in your mind. Sustained imagination also involves having patience and trust in the process. Manifestation often takes time, and the results of your imagination may not appear immediately. It's important not to become discouraged if you don't see instant changes in your external reality. Understand that there is a natural gestation period for everything, and your desires will manifest in their own time. Trust that your sustained imagination is working, even if you can't see the evidence right away. Impatience or frustration can weaken the effectiveness of your imaginative efforts, so maintaining faith in the process is essential. In addition to trust and patience, another key component of sustained imagination is the ability to let go of the how and when it is not your job to figure out exactly how your desires will come to fruition or when they will manifest. Your role is to maintain the vision and the feeling of your desire fulfilled. The universe or your subconscious mind will take care of the details. This can be difficult for those who are used to controlling every aspect of their lives, but letting go of the need for control is an important part of the process. When you release the how and when you open yourself up to possibilities and solutions that you may not have considered. Sustained imagination also requires resilience, as setbacks and obstacles are inevitable. There will be times when it seems like your desire is not manifesting, or when life throws challenges in your way. These moments test your faith and commitment to your vision. It is during these times that sustained imagination is most crucial. Rather than allowing doubt or frustration to take over, you must continue to hold on to your vision, trusting that the obstacles are temporary, and that your desired outcome is still within reach. By staying true to your imagination, even in the face of adversity, you demonstrate your belief in your vision's eventual manifestation. It's important to note that sustained imagination is not just about creating tangible results, such as material possessions or external success. It can also be used to create inner states of being, such as peace, happiness, and self-confidence. If you imagine yourself as calm, centered, and self-assured on a consistent basis, your inner world will begin to reflect those qualities, and over time they will manifest in your outer life as well. This is the true power of sustained imagination. It allows you to shape not only your external circumstances, but also your internal reality.